Welcome to the home of WWE news, rumors, and gossip in real time. Click the bell, subscribe, and turn on all notifications today. Don't forget to become a channel member and send a super thanks donation below. And now, your host. He is the most consistent and dedicated in YouTube history, Seanzviewent.
We got travesty, we got tragedy, we got miscarriage of justice, we got stalkers, we got gawkers, we got police, we got cops, we got the FBI, the NYPD. What is going on in the WWE or the professional wrestling world in 2025? What in the blue hell is literally going on? Ladies and gentlemen, it's so crucial and important to join my channel as a channel member. Use your credit card, donate in the comment section with a super thanks donation. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get into this, guys. This is really scary. It's really unraveling. It's quite uncomfortable if you ask the brash in the brazen. And we're going to cover that. We're going to get into all of that. But first off, we got breaking news on R-Truth. The news keeps unraveling. The news keeps coming in. The news keeps getting unveiled and leaked online about R-Truth. A man that should have been at least a one-time WWE champion, if not a one-time World's Heavyweight champion, even if it would have been for 24 hours, even if it would have been for a week. Something. According to those in the know, a source says he has talked to R-Truth. And what does he think about the release from the WWE? What does he think of him about being pink-slipped after all his devotion, after all his time he put in, after all his loyalty to the WWE, knowing that the WWE could always rely and commit to R-Truth? And again, the feeling is that Vince McMahon would have never done this. Vince McMahon would have never released him like Triple H did. Triple H got rid of him. But a source says, I talked to R-Truth, and he's happy with the release. Again, this is according to a source, so just take this with a grain of salt. I saw the statement that he made after the release, so you know it's like this with me. If Truth is happy, I love it. So ain't no going back and forth about this release. Because talking back and forth or making an argument out of it, that ain't bringing them back. God does things for a reason. This may be the best thing to ever happen to him. What John Laurinaitis did to me was the best thing that could happen to me. During an episode of the Wrestling Time Machine in 2023, Teddy Long spoke about his legitimate hatred for John Laurinaitis. Well, you see, playa, we're good because he didn't know I hated him in real life. Yeah, he didn't know it. I mean, I have no respect for a man who tried to stop me from feeding my family. A guy that hated me for no reason. I'd never done nothing to him, and to come in my face and laugh and grin like it's unreal, man. And then, you know, the other thing, too, I had the opportunity to be one of the referees on the road together, and I'll leave the name out, but he'd come and tell me exactly who he was making, what he was making. And as a referee, he was making more money than me. And I'm the general manager running the company. That was all John Laurinaitis' deal. Viewers, fans, and subscribers, breaking news on the charismatic enigma, Jeff Hardy. Or as Mike Adamle once called him, Jeff Harvey. It was on this day, back in 1994, the late, great Razor Ramon, that doesn't even sound right saying that, Scott Hall, Razor Ramon, the bad guy Chico, faced a 16-year-old Jeff Hardy on Raw. Your thoughts, your comments, and your opinions on Jeff Hardy's WWE debut back then. He was a jobber. There he is, Jeff Hardy, back in 1994 against Razor Ramon, one of my first all-time favorites. The Rock allegedly wants Brian Jurich to replace the Game Triple H. There may be active efforts underway behind the scenes to remove Levesque from his position. The Game Triple H being removed from WWE, because remember, there's a lot of backlash. There's a lot of rage on Triple H for letting go of R-Truth. There may be angles being run to oust Triple H altogether. Triple H has been overseeing WWE's programming and creative direction, working long hours, reportedly up to 80 hours a week. When Paz asked who might be the right person to take over such a demanding role, Jonathan had a name ready. The Rock wants Brian to be the head of creative again. I actually subleased my very first apartment when I moved to Stamford, Connecticut back in 2000. It was his apartment, so I've known him for a really long time, and I've got a lot of respect for his creativity. But there's no way that Brian could come back. He used to be the head writer of Raw. Brian Jurich worked at WWE for many years and was once the lead writer for Monday Night Raw. He left the company in 2015 and joined 7 Bucks Production, a company owned by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and his ex-wife, Danny Garcia. Jarrett and Johnson have maintained a strong professional relationship for over 20 years. Will the game Triple H be replaced in the WWE? Should he be replaced after getting rid of R-Truth? After the game, Triple H is solely responsible for releasing R-Truth from the juggernaut that is the WWE. Your thoughts, your comments, and your opinions. Who doesn't like drunk people? Well, according to Brie Bella drunk FaceTimed Bryan Danielson one time, and she says he doesn't like drunk people. CM Punk is not good for what we do, according to Seth Rollins, and he wants CM Punk gone from WWE. Seth Rollins believes that CM Punk should be next to be released from the company. Do you believe that CM Punk should be released from the WWE? Your thoughts, your comments, and your opinions, because this is your reigning place to be. Joe Hendry breaks silence after losing the TNA World Championship to Trick Williams. And will Joe Hendry ever be the reigning TNA World Champion ever again? Also, with R-Truth allegedly being happy after his exit from the WWE, there is a thought process that he very well could go to TNA. Do you think R-Truth could go back to his old stomping grounds as Ron Killings in total nonstop action? Your thoughts, your comments, and your feedback. Mike Tenay was discussed to be a commentator at the Worlds Collide event this weekend. Also, breaking news on The Miz. There's been a lot of question. There's been a lot of variables. There's been a lot of back and forth. There has been a lot of confliction about The Miz and his status and his future in the WWE. The Miz being a veteran. It seems like Triple H is getting rid of the WWE veterans that were under the Vince McMahon regime. It seems like a lot of the Vince McMahon guys are being let go by the game Triple H. However, right now we got breaking news on the former WWE champion, The Miz. The man that made the Intercontinental title relevant during SmackDown Live when Shane McMahon was running the damn show. However, while it doesn't look like The Miz will be leaving the WWE right now, although it doesn't look like he'll be released, not to say that he won't, not to say that The Miz won't be released, but breaking news, The Miz is set to take time off from WWE television. So The Miz will be taking a sabbatical. He will be taking a break. So we will not be seeing The Miz for some time. Also, breaking news, this just coming in. This is why we do multiple videos a day. That's why it's so important, guys. You cannot rely on the algorithm. Even though you click the bell, subscribe, turn on all notifications, you got to make Seanzview a part of your day at least upwards to 3 times a day. In the morning, in the noon, and in the night, and even in between. Listen to this huge update, monumental. R-Truth's WWE departure raises eyebrows after conflicting reports about his exit from the company, especially when it comes to why he's no longer with the WWE. According to the WON newsletter, it was reported that WWE made the call to part ways with R-Truth because of his contract being too expensive for how he was being used. Essentially, in his case, it was a fictional... It was a financial decision by the WWE in the sense that his last contract was so high for that level that they were using him that they made it made no sense. No sense, yes. That lines up with WWE's broader cost-cutting trend, but it directly contradicts an early report from former WWE broadcaster. WWE did offer Truth a new deal, but with a major pay cut. Again, there's a lot of confliction. There's a lot of back and forth about what really transpired. If that is accurate, then R-Truth wasn't released. He walked away on principle. It was weighed on this. I talked to Truth. He's happy with the decision. I saw his statement that he made after the release. So, you know, it's like this with me. If Truth is happy, I love it. God does things for a reason. This may be the best thing to ever happen to him. We might see the R-Truth that we have never got to see where it's been allowed to be him. So we might see a different version of R-Truth altogether. Those in TNA have already said that they want him to make an offer, and for the company, he'll come in fairly hot. I don't know that AEW would want to take him or wouldn't take him. Really, it comes down to if Tony Khan wants a comedy character and they come to a price agreement. Again, this partial source goes to Ringside News and the dirt sheets, the websites, and the newsletters. Lil Wayne name drops Brock Lesnar on the Carter track. What does that mean? Is Brock Lesnar going to go into the rapping world? Breaking news on Jimmy and Jay Uso as they share unfiltered parenting advice for twins and get real about their own struggles and their own fights. Bret the Hitman Hart, Vince McMahon. What is going on between these two? Bret Hart calls Vince McMahon a predator amid the trafficking lawsuit and scandal. The former Elias, who is now Elijah in the TNA, says that WWE releasing him lit a fire in him. I'm going to show you something. And then Elias, whatever you want to call him, blasts WWE creative limits, but credit TNA for letting him be real. Also, viewers, fans, and subscribers coming through on the Brash and the Brazen, where we raise the bar for all of you. R-Truth. Was he ever going to be a world champion? Well, he is a former TNA World Heavyweight Champion, according to what I recall and to what I remember. WWE star suffers chipped teeth and a hole in his tongue after a brutal match. Also, Drew McIntyre fires back at fan backlash over his feud with one Damian Priest. Drew McIntyre compares CM Punk to Charles Manson over fan loyalty. Drew McIntyre wanted to mention Vince McMahon's firing of CM Punk on live TV. Seth Rollins wants to see Hulk Hogan get hurt in the ring. Oro Mensah details his 45-second WWE release call in immediate aftermath. There is a warning about the WWE right now, that the WWE roster, that being off TV, if you're off TV in the WWE, that could mean you're next after the R-Truth exit. Whoa. That could be something. There could be more to that than meets the eye. Seth Rollins says he wants to break John Cena's nose one more time before he retires. Also, viewers, fans, and subscribers, Becky Lynch is finally surfacing online and letting it be known and revealed. Becky Lynch explains what really brought her back to the WWE. And are you happy and excited to see the return of the man, Becky Lynch? Also coming through on Seanzviewent Entertainment, where we do it for all of you. Dominik Mysterio, killed, dead. Is he in bed? Is he going to be in a casket? Is he going to be in a hearse? Dominik Mysterio targeted in a horrifying bomb threat by an online stalker that claims they will kill Dominik Mysterio. Unfortunately, it appears that an insane individual has now threatened to bomb and kill Dominik Mysterio, among others. They said that they bought 2 sets of knives and planned to pretend to be security so they could sneak backstage to attack and take out Dom. They said they wanted to find Dominik's locker room and carve him like a pumpkin. When one fan pointed out that they were just crazy like Roxanne Perez's stalker and Liv Morgan's stalker, the deranged stalker said that it was their destiny to do this, claiming that they were born to serve their country. The stalker said that they love the land they were born in and that people like Dominik, who they called illegal, shouldn't be used for entertainment. They went as far as calling Dominik Mysterio a terrorist. This is my destiny. Oh, this is crazy. It didn't stop there, as the stalker said that if the plan didn't work, they had a bomb ready to finish off Dominik Mysterio, saying, and if that doesn't work, I have a bomb ready. The threats made against Dominik Mysterio are not only hateful, but also illegal. No performer, no matter how famous or where they're from, and no matter how hated they are as a heel, should have to worry about their safety for doing their job and entertaining people. Therefore, it remains to be seen how fast the authorities will act against the dangerous stalker. What do you think about this shocking bomb threat against Dominik Mysterio for him to be killed and taken out in World Wrestling Entertainment or backstage or even before an event? Okay, I'll tell you guys, with his stalkerous actions, with all these threats of killings, and with all these threats of violence, I mean, this is torturous. This is ridiculous. This is unbelievable. I receive death threats every day because if I say a rumor and it doesn't happen, I get death threats for it. I mean, I get swatted several times a day, every single day. But by God, you want to talk about all-time lows and all-time levels. Unbelievable. Wow. Also coming through on the Brash and the Brazen. Let's see. Liv Morgan broke silence on her kiss cam moment with Dominik Mysterio at the Netflix huge event that went down several days ago. Seth Rollins explains why Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed actually joined him. But actually, it won't matter what Seth Rollins say. It matters what my viewers, my subscribers, and my fans say. Obviously, it is to give them a new look. It is obviously to not jeopardize their career, but save their career, to make sure that they have something to walk into, that they have a future, that they have legitimacy, that they have credibility, that they are following the architect, Seth Rollins, to boost their morale in the company. That is why Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed joined Seth Rollins, because they know that Seth Rollins could take them to the next level. And again, there's actually even rumors. There is now rumors and speculation that Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker could very well be the next tag team champions of the Red brand on Netflix. Do you believe that Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker should be the next world tag team champions of Monday Night Raw? Also, viewers, fans, and subscribers, Julia says she regrets not learning English properly before her main roster call-up. The Rock being excused, the final boss, the most electrifying man in all of entertainment. The Rock accused of stealing an idea for a WrestleMania 40 spot. Also, ladies and gentlemen, coming through for all of you, the impact, the significance, the prominence of what we bring to you and what we provide to you day in and day out. Double duty drama starts wrestling twice on June 7th. Stars wrestling twice on June the 7th. Money in the Bank 2025 could be John Cena's most important tag team match to date. Also, viewers, fans, and subscribers, AEW's Rebel reveals that she underwent surgery to remove a tumor. I'm terrified. Who once said that? Who just said that? Goldberg discusses struggles of getting in-ring shape for his final match. Huge stakes added to WWE versus TNA match at Against All Odds. WWE TNA alum returning to wrestling decades after being away from the industry. That being, as I said yesterday, Monty Brown. Natalya praises total package Mariah May after her WWE NXT debut. Wrestler Jaden Steele charged with kidnapping in Florida. Your thoughts, your comments, and your sentiments on that. Viewers, fans, and subscribers, this is where it all happens. This is what we all do. We do it around the clock. We do it multiple times a day. Why? Because we care about your thoughts, your comments, and your opinions, because if it weren't for you, there would be no Sean's View. Thank you for providing your comments, your views, your clicks. And remember, guys, so important to just become a channel member. Save and secure the future of this website. You see all the hustle, the desire. You see all the energy. You see all the tenacity I put into this. Why? Because it's all revolving around, you got it, you. Subscribe, plenty more to come. Don't go anywhere. Stay locked on to this very channel.